He was a police officer. I don't remember his name offhand. I forget it.
Is he still alive?
I don't know. I lost contact with him over 40 years ago. He might be dead by now. But Keefe D, going back to Keefe D. Keefe D was in the car when those guys were shot. I know that. I knew all about that back then when it first happened. The problem was that you couldn't do much with it, the case, because Vegas didn't trust, the Las Vegas PD didn't trust LAPD. LAPD didn't know what was going on with the Inglewood PD. Las Vegas didn't know what was going on with the Inglewood PD because they had, who was the guy who was running it? Reggie Wright and his father or somebody or whatever. Compton PD. They didn't trust them. So there was a lot of, I remember we always talked about this in the beginning of our conversation about, you know, people not working well with others.
Right.
That was a perfect case for it.
That seems to happen a lot of
perfect case. Vegas didn't want to really work with them, and then things just got messed up. And, you know, the Las Vegas PD didn't know much about rap music. They didn't know at the time. Yeah. They can say whatever they want, but they didn't know about rap music. I went down there and spoke with Paul, and explained to him about the hip-hop industry and things like that. But like I said, a lot of these people were not involved. The Biggie case went through Wilshire guys, right? Mm-hmm. Then it went to robbery homicide. Then it went to my friend Stevie Katz, who got into trouble with the case. And then Greg took it over. So it went to a lot of people's hands. The Tupac case, so the guy who was on that case at the time, I remember, or a spokesman, I don't know if he was assigned the case, was this guy Kevin Manning.
I remember.
At the time. And then after that, the case probably got distributed to other people and picked up by other detectives that were working in that unit that took over that case. But like I said, when I was out there in the beginning of it, none of these guys were around.
Right.
You know, and the reason I knew a lot about what was going on was because I befriended a cop who was out in Los Angeles in the Tarzana division. Mm-hmm. And he and I was exchanging information about Suge Knight and the Bloods and the Crips and about everything out there. And we became friends, but he didn't want to be involved in this. He was very afraid. He was like, Derek, I don't know. He had a fear where he didn't want to be involved in, like, if any information comes out about this stuff later on, I'm retired, I don't know nothing. Oh. And I remember him because he was a nice guy. He would send me stuff, I would send him stuff. And this was before anybody got involved. This was just me and this guy sending information. This was after, and I remember here when Tupac got killed, I told my bosses, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a ripple effect. But it didn't affect us. It affected Vegas, because that's where Tupac got killed, and then it affected LA, where Biggie got killed. Tupac was an LA guy, because he was once a New York guy who became an LA guy, right. And Biggie was a New York guy who happened to be traveling out to Los Angeles. And that's what I said to the chief, this is all coming back to New York City. Why, Derek? Because he's a Brooklyn-born rapper, and he's big. When I say big, he and Tupac are two of the biggest rap icons that were alive at that time, and now they're both dead.
Who was that detective? Is he still around?
I don't want to mention her name, but
no, I'm talking about the one from Tarzana. You exchange information.
No, he was a cop. The guy from LA.
Yeah,
he was a police officer. I don't remember his name offhand. I forget it.
Is he still alive?
I don't know. I lost contact with him over 40 years ago. He might be dead by now. Could be.
Yeah, I'm sure he was old. Was he older than you?
I think he was at the time.
Oh, then you had a cold.
And who never knows? You know, we had everything. Who knows if he's still around? But I know he didn't want to be involved. And he was the one and I were exchanging information way before the homicides occurred and everything else. We had everything.
So with that being said, I wonder what his connection was. Like, who was his league or?
He was up in Tarzana. He was at the studio. He knew about the cars going in. We took plate numbers of cars going in.
Wait, what studio?
There was the studio in Tarzana. There's a recording studio, all the rappers everybody used to use.
Oh, okay.
And we knew all the cars that were going in, what different rappers were going in there.
You sure it was Tarzana? Or?
Yeah, it was Tarzana, because he was in the Tarzana division.
Okay.
And we were talking about who's going where. Derek, you know, these guys are big time guys. And, you know, he was very, like, not scary, but he was like, these guys are like big dudes, man. They're like, you got to see the cars they're driving. And back then, as a cop, he wouldn't know. You'd see guys driving cars, you think like the mafia. You think like some organized crime unit or gangs or something that from out there. But he knew a lot. He and I we were talking about everything. He said, I'm sorry I didn't take those pictures with me, man. I should have kept them.
What pictures?
There were pictures that he sent from the Suge Knight's Suge Knight's office,
Right.
where they had pictures of Suge Knight. You know, he was. It was some crazy pictures about him and Puffy, and things like that. It was a lot of stuff that I had, and I should have took them with me. I know I did. They probably would have been worth a lot of money right now.
Wow.
I should have took them with me, man. I had all that stuff in my office back then. I don't know.
When
I don't
you
know
say
where
Puffy,
they've
I
gone.
think there was like some picture of him like in a tutu. Or
Yeah, in a tutu or something, and then there was a lot. This guy, they were like, it was bad. See, you got to remember something too. Back then, I wasn't just going out to police departments. I traveled to Jack the Rapper.